My name is Frank Collier, licensed professional clinical counselor at training, and I'm here to give a public service announcement regarding nicotine and its use. Nicotine is a highly addictive drug that is very dangerous. It's found in a lot of pesticides because it is also very toxic to both humans and bugs. A few drops of pure nicotine has been said to be able to kill an adult human in a very short amount of time. One of the adverse effects of nicotine on the body is activating the acetylcholine receptors in the brain, causing the brain to release adrenaline, speed up the heart rate, and causes cardiovascular disease over a period of time. Another adverse effect is inhibiting the gastrointestinal system activity. This, over time, can also cause gastrointestinal disease. So the use of nicotine has been linked to both cardiovascular and gastrointestinal disease. One of the ways that nicotine typically gets into the body is by smoking. Cigarettes or cigars are the typical ways that smoking is carried out, and it usually affects both the lungs, the heart, and the brain. There are some other ingredients besides nicotine in cigarettes that cause them to be harmful. One of those is carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is odorless, colorless, and tasteless, but it is also extremely toxic, just like nicotine. It attaches to the hemoglobin in the blood, blocking some of the oxygen from getting into the lungs, basically causing a form of asphyxiation in the user. Not only does this affect the lungs, it also affects the heart. It causes cardiovascular disease by causing some of the oxygen to not get from the lungs to the heart, as well as other systems in the body. Tar is also found in cigarettes. It is the same kind of tar that is used in paving roads and other ways of sticking to things. Tar contained in the cigarette sticks to the natural maintenance cells within the lungs, causing them to freeze and builds up unwanted particles in the lungs. That's why there's a lot of coughing. It is the body's way of expelling unwanted particles that have built up because the natural maintenance performing cells within the lungs are shut down or stuck together. Some of the dangers of smoking include heart disease, bronchitis, emphysema, lung cancer, and asthma. With all of these consequences to smoking, one would say, well, there must be a safer alternative, right? What about chewing tobacco? I'm sad to say that chewing tobacco is not a safe alternative to smoking. Which leads me to my next way that nicotine gets into the body. It's through chewing tobacco. Chewing tobacco is usually, it's long leaves of tobacco mixed with syrup or molasses or sugar or some other type of bonding agent that creates, that makes it where the nicotine bonds to the sugar and makes it go through the blood easier. Another variation on this is called dip or snuff, and it's very similar to chewing tobacco, but it's not the same. These both contain not only nicotine, but other carcinogens and cancer-forming agents as well, such as formaldehyde, nitrosamines, nickel, and cadmium. Both are cancer-causing agents. Some of the dangers of chew and dip include mouth cancer, tongue cancer, lip cancer, as well as tooth and gum decay. There have also been studies that have shown to provide links between cardiovascular, gastrointestinal disease, and the use of chewing tobacco and smokeless tobacco in general. So if cigarettes are unsafe, smokeless tobacco is unsafe, is there a safer alternative? Some would say that vaping or e-cigarettes is a safer alternative. And while yes, there are less chemicals in e-cigarettes and vaping devices than in cigarettes, it still contains nicotine, which is dangerous and highly toxic. Some of the ingredients in vape pens and e-cigarettes are flavored liquids. And yes, the nicotine is heated, so there aren't some of the dangerous components, But some manufacturers and people that just buy nicotine also mix it with THC and other drugs to give it a more potent flavor, but also causes its own set of problems as well. Some of the dangers of vaping is heart disease, lung cancer, emphysema, asthma, and many other cardiovascular and central nervous system problems. According to the Center for Disease Control, as of January 21st, 2020, there have been 60 confirmed deaths due to vaping or e-cigarette smoking or other lung harm. Now, with all of these things and all of this information, I wanted to give some resources for quitting smoking. One of them is nicotine replacement therapy. That can be through patches, lozenges, gum, many other ways to replace the nicotine in one's system. I also went to smokefree.gov. There are a lot of resources there. They have an app that can help people struggling with smoking. Lung.org gives a lot of information about lung cancer and some of the effects of smoking on the body. One of the simplest is to ask a physician. Physicians will have many other resources and can even, for those that need it, prescribe medications such as Chantix to those that need a medical intervention to stop smoking. The use of nicotine is dangerous, and stopping smoking can save you years off your life, literally. Thank you for your time and attention, and I hope that this has provided some useful information about the use of nicotine and why it is dangerous.